Welcome to the second tutorial on this frog game, and this time we are going to randomly position sprites on the screen every time we start the game, and then every time we reset part of the game, for example when we've eaten all the food on the screen or if a frog has been eaten by a snake. My name is Mr. Gauvin and I teach green food to secondary school students. Let's have a look at a game that I've done earlier. So if I reset it and then get ready to run, if as you can see, I've just lost one life. The life counter at the top has decreased to 1, well, to 2 and then now to 1. And when I've eaten all the strawberries, when I've eaten all the strawberries, we get some more strawberries on the screen, and then if I reset the whole game, the strawberries reappear again, but every single time they are placed randomly, so it's not always the same game that restarts, which is what would happen if we were to place the strawberries manually on the screen and then use the save the world function. Right, let's move this out of the way, and here's my game how it was before I'd done anything to it. So what we're going to do, we're going to work on the world, and more precisely its creator and this prepare function that GreenFoods automatically generates for us. So down here I've got all the strawberries that gets added to the game every single time we reset it, but those strawberries always go in the same location. So the 5th strawberry is always going to be placed at the points 846, 460. So this is the first thing I want to change. Then also I want to have a possibilities to add to have more than one enemy on the screen, and to remember how many enemies I've got on the screen, so that if I have to reset after the frog gets eaten, I've got the same number of enemies on the screen as I had before, so there can be a progression in my game. To do this, I'm simply going to split this prepare method into 3. So I'm going to have prepare enemy, and then I'm going to pass a parameter to prepare enemy, which is number of snakes, and that's an integer, by the way. Now that integer is going to be private value in our class. For the time being, I'm just going to hardcode it as 1. When we start the game, there's only going to be 1 snake, just like when we start the game we have 3 lives for our frog. So I've got 1 prepare enemy. I'm going to have 1 prepare frog with no parameters, because there's only 1 frog on the screen, and then a prepare food. And this one, oh sorry, well, what am I doing here writing this? The int will go into when we declare our method, not when we call it. And then prepare food, and then also I'm going to pass a parameter to prepare food, and I'm going to pass it the number of strawberries we'll place on our screen, which I'm just coding as 10 over here. Right, so we start with prepare enemy. Why? Because the first line I've got here is for the enemy, and then I'm going to do integer number of enemies. Then we have a prepare frog, which doesn't take any parameters. And then finally a prepare food. Oops, no capital. Alright, let's start in reverse. So we're going to simplify this code. We're only going to have one, but we're going to use a for loop so that we don't need so many lines into our code for something very simple. For, so I'm going to go from 1 to my number of food. So for loops, we've seen that before. Let's tidy up a little bit. So in the edit menu, I pick auto layout and the shortcut is Shift Control I. So I will use the shortcut next time. Okay, but if I run this code, I would put 10, because I'm passing it 10, I would put 10 strawberries on top of each other at the location 159, 215. So I need to change those locations. And this is where I am going to use codes from the Greenfoot class. So get random number between 0 and the limit. Alright, so Greenfoot dot get random number, and I need to pass it a parameter. Now this parameter is the what's the name? The width of my screen, but if I pass it the whole width of my screen and then I add a strawberry, then the strawberry would be off the screen. I don't really want that, so it's the width of the screen minus the width of the strawberry. So it should look like this. I'm already inside the world, so I don't need to use the get world method. I can use the get width method, which would refer to the one from the world, which is the class we are coding at the minute, minus the width of this food object I've just added. Well, I'm in the process of adding. So minus food get width. And then I do the same for the I'd forgotten the bracket to close the get random number call. Now let's do the same for the height. And then here I change width into height. Let's compile this. Of course, I haven't done. I've not done that yet. Return type required. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting to say that this is a private method and it doesn't return any parameter. Must have the wrong number of brackets. Let's remove one, compile again. Get width, method get width. Okay, so food hasn't got a get width method. Let's have a look at what food has got. Food is an actor, So I'm looking to get the width of its image. I can't see a get width, but here we've got get image. So if I use the get image method and then call get width for get image, that should work. So over here I'm going to insert get image dot get width, and then same thing over here. Let's try this. It's worked. So my world has compiled, and then if I reset it, now see how the strawberries are placed in a different location every time I reset the game. Perfect, that's exactly what I wanted. Now I would like to make sure that the frog is placed in the middle of the right hand of the screen, and that my snakes are placed at random in the left hand of the screen, as I intend to have more snakes than just that one at the start of the game. So let's start with a frog. Now these coordinates, we're going to change them to get width. So if I divide my width by 4 and then multiply the result by 3, I should be in the middle of the right hand of the screen. And then for its height, I'll simply take get height and divide it by 2. So my frog is always there in the middle. Excellent. Last one. So my enemy, I'm passing it an integer number of enemies. So same as what I did for the food, I'm going to reuse this for loop. So from 1 to number of enemies, wrong type of comma, opening bracket, closing bracket, Control Shift I to tidy it up. Good, and these are the numbers that I need to change, and I'm going to use the getRandomNumber method again, without having to grab the image. Oh yes, I will have to for the what's its name, for the y value, but for the x value that's fine. It's going to be limited only by the middle of the screen. So let's change these in a similar fashion to what we've just done. So I need get random number, and the starting value for the finishing value for this random number is going to be the width divided by 2. And then for the height, another random number. The parameter this time is going to be get height, sorry, divided by 2, but I'm going to take away my enemy. Yes, it is enemy get image get image get height, and that is what I want to divide by 2. Sorry, no need to divide this by 2. Let's double check. So this is my x position, which is a random number between 0, which is the left hand side of the screen, and get width divided by 2 is the middle of the screen. So if I move this box to represent the middle of the screen, the maximum, the furthest my snake can be from the x-axis is over here, where the left hand side of the snake is lined up with the middle of my screen. Will be fine. That's the closest it would be to the frog, which will have to run away fast or drop a poison food for the snake to eat. Now if I look at the height, the parameter I'm passing to the getRandomNumber function is getHeight. I don't want to divide it by 2 because I want to use the whole height of the screen. But if my random number is the whole height of the screen, then my strawberries, my snake, where's the snake gone, would be drawn starting with its top left corner. So that means the snake would actually be underneath the screen, and I don't want that, which is why I take away the height of the snake. Let's compile this code. I forgot the call for greenfoot, of course. Greenfoot, and then I need another call to greenfoot over here. Get height. And I forget to put the opening and closing bracket to get height. That's it. No error. So there's my snake. If I reset it, it's down there. Now what I could do, let's bring this back just to test it. Oh, where's my editor gone? Let's bring back the editor. I'm going to increase the number of frog world. Right, so I've got my editor here on the screen. Now just for a trial, let's have 4 snakes at the start of our game and compile this. There we are. I've got 4 snakes right here, but they are on the left hand side of my screen, and then if I reset it again, you can see my 4 snakes at random, but always on the left hand side. If I start playing the game, it's quite busy. Okay, that's the end of this screencast, and join me for the next one, where we'll add some live counters and score counters to turn this into a proper game.